Delegates from within and outside Africa are in Cape Town, South Africa this week for the 2025 edition of the annual African Energy Week Summit. The conference will be addressed by top executives, policymakers from OPEC, Russian energy companies, the United States, the Middle East over the course of the week as Africa becomes the centerpiece of investments and deals in natural resource. Arise business correspondent Bosin Omofaye is in Cape Town for the Energy Summit and sends in this pre-opening report on the preparations and what the broad agenda looks like.
Yes, I am back in Cape Town, South Africa for this year's edition of the African Energy Week. This is the CTICC2, the other side of the International Conference Center here in South Africa, where this year's edition will be taking place. And this is very important because this is the ground entrance to the premises where the hundreds and thousands of delegates are starting the main event Monday, the 29th of September. Of course, we're expecting some presidents, energy ministers across oil and gas, electricity, the entire value chain of energy on the African continent. This year's edition is coming at a very critical time for Africa, where demand for critical minerals or natural resources of the African continent is in everybody's crosshairs. The Russians, the Chinese, the Americans, the Europeans are all interested in what lies under the ground in trillions of dollars in Africa. So the scramble for these mineral resources bring to the center, to the forefront of discussion, how should Africa negotiate and deal with the various interests from around the world? And how do we make energy poverty go away by the year 2030? And that's going to be a major discussion here. So you're expecting several sessions and discussions to take place over the next 1 week. And I'll be here reporting that for you. But what is more important is that Africa needs to decide right now how it's going to play in the future of energy and the just energy transition that everyone is talking about. So to give you an idea of what to expect, I ran into Ayuk, the founder and initiator of the African Energy Week, a few minutes ago here at the CTICC as the final preparation is taking place. And this is what he told me will be the key focus for this year's edition. Take a listen. It's an exclusive interview, by the way.
We've seen record numbers coming into Cape Town, and it's really impressive when you see the presidential delegations. But even more important, we've seen a lot of new companies, a lot of independents from the US and from Europe really looking at not just doing business with African government, but doing business with African entrepreneurs. And I think that private sector B2B meetings that will be happening here, we're looking at getting some really, really good deals being signed. And we're looking at having big news coming out of Cape Town starting from tomorrow. It's going to be on in this city. And I think it tells a great story about Africa's energy industry having to play its own real role to define its future. So I'm really excited and I look forward to seeing everybody, and we'll make sure we get some things done.
It's the 5th edition of the African Energy Week. How do you feel about this initiative so far? 5 years.
I feel so great about the growth of the movement. Imagine, nobody would have thought that an African-led movement has become a global show in our continent. Built, run by Africans. You know what that says? It says we have excellence in our continent. It says we can do world-class things. And I hope that many young Africans take on what we've built here and do amazing things, because there's excellence in our continent. And nobody gave us a chance. But you know what? When you bet on Africans, this is a clear indication that Africans can supersede expectations that most people didn't expect.
What would be your key message of the African Energy Chamber to thousands of delegates for this year?
You're trying to get everything, but you know there's one thing that is going to be constant throughout this year. Drill, baby, drill. And you're going to hear a lot of that over the next few days.
Now, getting into the whole event proper after what NG Ayuk said, there'll be a lot of technical sessions and, of course, exhibitions by energy companies across Africa and from around the world. This is one of the exhibition hall. 5 technical stages will be taken in here. There's a number of breakout rooms. But again, if you just track this with me, you've got behind me the very big electronic board where the programs will be displayed for delegates as they're coming through the door, down the corridor, and then they've got to find out what sessions they're attending, what to discuss, what the subjects are, who and who will be on the panel, and all of that. Then, of course, you've got a couple of other technical and exhibition halls down the road. So it's all very huge every year here at the CTICC Center for the African Energy Week. And this year will not be any different. So join me here for the next week, all week, reporting on critical issues and talking to exhibitors, doing interviews and bringing you updates. But more important, talking about deals that will be signed for the Baby Drill Energy Summit. From here in Cape Town, South Africa, I am Bosin Omofayu reporting.